Hello, my name is Joseph Roberts. I'm going to be your instructor for the semester for Quantitative Reasoning, Summer 2023. So I want to make a brief video outlining how to navigate the course materials. So everything's going to be posted and completed via Folio, as you can see here. When you click on Folio, you'll be brought to the course homepage. You'll see news announcements pop up here. There are no news announcements, but whenever there are important class announcements, they'll pop up here. To the right, you'll see upcoming due dates for assignments. And at the top, there's really only two buttons you need to worry about: grades and content. So you'll be able to check your grade at any point in time. Now, keep in mind your grade does not include extra credit, but it gives you a pretty close approximation of what your actual class grade is, updated in real time. And if you click on content, this is where you're going to spend most of your time in the class. So you click here. Here is the course policy, a schedule, and the textbook available free of charge. So here's your syllabi, university policy, so on and so forth, schedule outlining the course, and the textbook. Again, please don't spend any money on the textbook. The textbook is available free of charge. But besides that, the course is broken into weekly modules. So you can see here the first 2 weeks of the class are already up and running. So let's click on week 1. So at the beginning of every module, you'll get agenda, and you can go in and click on the agenda, and you'll get a little checkbox. Some people like to print this off and kind of check off as they complete things. So the very first thing you need to do for the class is complete your attendance verification. This will pop up on May 15th. You have to do this immediately, otherwise you will get dropped from the class. And then you'll just kind of take it from top to bottom. Now this looks like a lot for the first week. It's a lot of very, very short assignments. Like lecture 1.1 is a 20-minute lecture, 1.2 is a 20-minute lecture, 1.3 is like a 10-minute lecture. So you got a handful of short lectures and short homework assignments. Now that begs the question, how does one watch the lecture? Well, you got a couple options. But before we get to the lectures, let's talk about, the homework. So once you've reviewed the course policy, you'll want to do the course policy quiz. Now, when you're doing these weekly agendas, you just want to go from top to bottom. So you got the agenda, then the first item, the second item. Just take them from top to bottom. So your first homework assignment is just over the course policy. So I recommend you can have the syllabus in one tab, this quiz in another tab as you work through it. Now, when you go to do this, you'll get a couple of details you need to read here. So you are allowed unlimited time, and you are allowed unlimited attempts. So make sure you pay attention to the number of attempts you're allowed. Most homework assignments, I'll give you infinite attempts, but not all, so make sure you double check that. If you have unlimited attempts, then your grade will be your highest score. And hit Start Quiz. And it's just a couple of questions concerning the course policy. So if you review the syllabus, then you'll be able to answer all of these questions and submit it when you're done. Alright, so that is an example of a homework assignment. So you'll just do these from top to bottom, and you'll notice the first lecture, LEC stands for lecture, is lecture 1.1. So you can see it's like the fourth item in the list. And there's two ways to watch the lectures. You can watch the lectures on YouTube, which you're more than welcome to do so, but they're designed to be watched as pencasts. So this is how I recommend you watch the lectures. If you watch it on YouTube, it's just a screen recording of the pencast. You sacrifice a lot of detail and features. To watch the pencast or interact with the pencast, you simply click on it, and you're going to see a link to the LiveScribe player. Ooh. Let's go back real quick. So let's open that in a new tab. And all you got to do is drag and drop the file into the box. So we'll go ahead, click the arrow here, click download, and go ahead and save it. Just make sure you know where you saved it. Then it's as simple as drag and drop. So I've got all my, so you'll download it. Just make sure you know where you saved it. I recommend you keep a file that contains all of these, a folder that contains all these files. So I got them all here in my Math 1001. So lecture 1.1, you just drag and drop. You'll give it a few seconds, and you'll note when you open it up in the player, you get a much higher quality file. So you can see the image quality is much better. You're going to see black font and green font. Green font is tied to audio recordings. So you can just read this like a book or listen to it. And I recommend you take notes. A lot of people like to print these off and take notes as they're listening. And you can just hit the play button. Alright, hello. Here we have the very first lecture of quantitative reasoning. And the first unit of quant is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be over sets, logic, and unit analysis. And we'll begin with sets, which begs the question, well, what is a set? So you can see the lecture starts playing. You'll notice the green font became faded, and it'll start filling in when the audio recording gets to that part of the lecture. So you can listen to it and play it like a video, or you can skip to the parts you want to listen to. So maybe you're fine with this intro. This isn't the part you're interested in, but what you're really confused about is this table. Well, you can click on the parts you want to listen to. So if I click here, disjoint, overlapping, and subsets, let A and B be sets. So first thing we're going to talk about is what. Then the Pencast audio recording will skip to the part you click on. Maybe you want to listen to me talk about this example. So let alpha be the set 1, 2, 3. Let bravo be the set 3, 1, 2. Let C be the set of natural numbers. So you get a lot of nice features if you use the Pencast as it was designed, which is an interactive PDF. So that's how I recommend you watch the lectures, and you do this as you take notes like you would in a regular class. And then I got supplemental videos. These are optional videos for you to watch that supplement the lectures. And then you got homework 1.1, which is over the material covered in lecture 1.1. You got lecture 1.2 and some corresponding homework assignments. So let's take this from top to bottom. And every week for extra credit, all you have to do is upload your notes from the lectures. So if you simply upload your notes from all the lectures this week, I'll give you extra credit. So you should be watching the lectures and taking notes like you would in a regular class, a regular face-to-face class. If you do that, upload your notes, I'll give you extra credit. The extra credit is quite generous. If you upload all your notes for the semester, I'll add +3 to your grade, which is significant. But that's basically an introduction to Folio. So once again, you'll just take the weekly modules from top to bottom. You can see in week 2, you got our first exam right here. Now, before every exam, I'll give you a practice test. And let me give you a little hint. The questions from the test will be very similar to the questions from the practice test. So use this practice test to determine if you're ready for the actual test. Because on the actual test, you only get 1 attempt. So make sure you're prepared before you start it. But if you have any questions, just shoot me an email and have fun with the class, and I hope you guys find it interesting.